Hi, all.
Hey, all.
All of no one yet?
All of no one yet? Did you tag me? There we go.
I did.
I'm live now. All right. Commenting. Oh, yes, Horste. What up, everybody?
Again.
How we
The
doing?
coffee takes a while. You got the bananas?
Hey, I can't listen.
Alright.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How we doing? You got entertained. I gotta get up again.
I'm entertaining. Hi, guys. It's Holger with the Horse. With, on the Planet Air Live Network. Yeah, which goes on Periscope, Twitter.
Does it go on
Remember
Periscope?
where it all is? Yeah. Twitch.
Is Periscope
It's
still
all
a
over
thing?
the world. It is. Periscope is still a thing. And one of
Periscope?
those three people might be from
People still
Periscope.
Periscope? Does anybody out there Periscope?
I think that's
There it
where
is.
the Comedy Store roast battle is still on Periscope.
Whoa! Almost tripped and died. You guys almost saw me die live, tripping off a flip flop.
Oh yeah, I tripped on a flip flop and twisted my ankle really bad.
Oh yeah, yeah.
These 99-cent store flip flops are trying to kill us.
So a lot's changed in the flip flop world. I found out about flip flops.
They're no
Basically,
longer called flip flops.
they're no longer. I thought
They're
those were
called
different
slides.
things. They're called slides.
Oh, these
Or
are.
I thought they were a
what are
different
these?
thing.
Oh, do flip flops
I don't know
have
anymore. But
like
slides.
the toe thing?
You know, I know people were going back and forth on whether or not you should wear socks with
Oh yeah, it's terrible. So yours has to go a little this way.
with slides, but I had to, because if you buy them at the 99-cent store, they rub on your hairy toes, and it hurts, So now I got 99-cent store slide injuries, basically.
So do I. Because
So we
I
have to go
fell
like
in a
this now?
hole. I fell in a hole on the street. Well, I mean, a hole caused me to fall on the street.
You didn't fall inside a hole? I didn't have to dig you out?
No. My aunt fell in a hole when I was little.
What?
Yeah, there was a hole on the street for some construction. And I remember I was like 4 or something. And she was just walking the dog. And then I just saw a woman go into a hole. And I just remember screaming and crying. I was like, she's dead!
Oh my God.
Because I just thought anyone who fell in a hole just automatically died.
Martha's,
No.
Socks with slides.
It was always socks with sandals were like such the faux pas.
Yeah.
I said faux twice today. I said faux in the description and faux pas just now. So.
Everybody was against them. I thought that meant that you were like a terrible person. I thought that meant the worst for you. The way that everybody talked about people that wore socks.
Socks and sandals is
But
supposed to be
I don't think they thought
terrible.
about people with hairy feet that bought cheap sandals from a dollar store. I don't think that was part of the thought.
I guess that wasn't in the equation. I think if like the Queer Eye guys,
Adrienne, what's up?
if the Queer Eye guys busted in right now, they would beat your ass. What aunt? Thea Molly fell in a hole when I was 4 or something like that. Oh, I so remember it. I was playing with a cash register. I still remember I have memories from being 4. You think I'm a weirdo because I remember.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you're making it up. Does anybody else remember being 4? Does anybody have a how much? And she has too much detail. She has the type of detail with her memories that a lying person has. Like everybody else, when they remember stuff from their 4, they're like, I think there was, and then maybe there's all these like vague language. She's like, oh, I remember there was this guy named John, and he didn't like my boyfriend, and blah blah. I'm like, who the hell's a boyfriend when you're 4? What's wrong with you? You had a 4-year-old boyfriend?
And then I didn't have another boyfriend again until I was 14.
You think that's the normal amount of coffee?
So a boyfriend when I was 4, and then a boyfriend not again until I was 14. So that's a long. I had a 10-year dry spell. All right.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't didn't start until I was
Feel
like
bad for
18.
me.
Girls had cooties. Girls still have cooties. Bitches got cooties. Does
They
anybody,
don't have cooties.
does anybody have a shirt that just says bitches got cooties? That's
You
hilarious.
have one now. Make one. Make a mask. Bitches got cooties.
Oh,
Well, you say cooties now, or
What is
it could be
cooties?
Corona,
Is cooties problematic? What are you saying?
because it could be Corona. If you put that on a mask and said bitches got cooties,
Bitches got cooties.
you're saying that some women got the COVID.
Speaking of masks, I'm gonna be sponsored by a mask company
They
out
would,
of Detroit.
Oh, they would have him shave his hairy feet. You know you can shave your feet.
What?
I've shaved my feet. My mom told me I had to shave my toes when she taught me how to shave my legs. She said, and you have to shave your toes. But she told me not to shave my knees. So, well, that's kind of weird.
I don't know about the toe shaving.
But I think it's a thing. I think some women shave their toes. Ladies, toe shaving, how do you feel?
I'm still laughing at bitches got cooties. We need to bring cooties back.
Cooties is going to be problematic. I'm telling you right now. Oh, yeah. Song. I'm singing. Hungry as a horse. Theme music for hungry as a horse.
Yeah, all right.
That's the
So, did you
song.
tell anybody what
This
we're
is
making
the
today?
Hand washing that goes with the song.
When you do this, this is Facebook, right?
Yes,
is there
it
a,
is.
Is there a pinned comment explaining what this
No.
is anywhere?
There isn't, but I don't know. They probably have it. I mean, they made Instagram.
So when people
there's
see
no
us live on
I guess they
Facebook,
just
they don't know
wait
what
for
this
us
is because
to-
Instagram I pinned.
Oh no, it says it in the description.
Okay, so maybe for Instagram there really isn't a description because it's a.
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
what's up. So I'm helping make this coffee work.
Our coffee maker,
And-
we have to unplug and plug. Esther has this dream of fixing it.
I feel like I can fix it. I'm gonna clean it. It's dirty.
We have to
too.
unplug it and plug it several times to make 1 cup of coffee.
What's that? But anyway, we're live here at Hungry as a Horse on Instagram and Facebook and the Planet Ant Podcast Network. Planet Ant is a theater, black box theater in Hamtramck, and they're a nonprofit. So support Planet Ant. And yes, Potbelly, right? Yes, this is what's up. I used to work at Potbelly in Chicago, the original Potbelly, and I loved it. But they don't really have a lot of vegan stuff. And so I try to make Potbelly at home just because, for one thing, I don't live near it. So before I was vegan, I was just still trying to make Potbelly at home. It was only in Chicago forever, and then they made one in Michigan, and I freaked out because I was so excited. I freaked out so hard I locked my keys in my car at the Potbelly because I was just so excited that there was Potbelly in Michigan. And I didn't believe that.
You're going to skip over that story? I don't know what you were going to say, but fuck that story. That's stupid. Go back to that one. You locked your keys in your car?
Yeah, because I stopped, pulled over.
You were so
into the
excited that
Potbelly,
you just.
And then, yeah. And I just ran inside and I'm like, oh my God, you're really Potbelly? And I was like quizzing
You
them.
asked them if they're really a Potbelly? Like they were a fake Potbelly?
Yeah, I felt like somebody just took the
Shut the
name,
fuck
or they
up.
changed it because it was never a franchise. It was owned by one dude named Peter Hastings, and he was the guy who owned Potbelly. And I worked
You know
for him.
his
Because
name?
he was my boss. And then
His last name? I don't remember any boss that ever had his last name in my entire life, other than my brother.
boss's last
That's
name.
it. I worked at Jimmy John's, and I had bosses.
His name last name
There was a
was
boss
John.
named Jen and John. Well, no, you're talking about the owner. I'm talking about
I'm
just.
talking about the owner.
Yeah, but that was your boss. So we're talking about
Okay.
my boss.
Fine.
Okay, my boss. There was a guy named Jim and a guy named John, and people used to think that was Jimmy. They thought that we were fucking with them. But I don't remember their last names. I do remember that one of them got fired at some point, and years later came back and threw a brick through their window. I heard
love
that.
that. I
He
don't know
came
why I
back
love
and was
that.
like, he was told that he was like, there's places to go in the company, and if you stay with it long enough, you can rise and own your own franchise and all these things. He had all these high dreams, and he was a cool dude, yeah. And he came back one day apparently, and just like that old commercial with the tire, the old lady throws a tire through the window. That might be
I
a
don't
Michigan
remember
only
that.
one, but he just threw a brick through the whole window. Anyways, your story.
I love that because in these days he would have come back and shot you. But in those days, he just threw a brick.
Yeah.
Those are the good days. Those are the good old days. Somebody would just throw a brick. Now he would actually spit on you, probably.
Yeah.
But, I went in and, I don't know, I was so excited. I got Potbellies, I got the shake or whatever I got, and then sandwich. And I came out and realized that I had locked my keys in my car. So I think I just ran in.
And then
it was back when you couldn't, I guess it wasn't a key
before
fob.
telephones?
No, it wasn't a key fob. Because a key fob, I think you just always have.
You had to write a letter to the
know,
mayor to get the keys out.
But they did help me get them out. And then I felt so dumb because I had already gone in there and talked like a weirdo and was like, I used to work at the first Potbelly.
Hey, bro, what's up?
And hey. And then I asked them what the seasoning is. Because the seasoning at Potbelly.
They're like, if we tell you, we have to kill you.
No, but I was like, is it really the same seasoning? Because it's made.
You were quizzing them. You're such a nerd.
If it wasn't the same seasoning, then it wasn't Potbelly. Pepper and celery, salt, and oregano all mixed together. I forget what the parts are.
If I was there, I would have been
like
like, lady, we sell sandwiches, and you're a little bit too hyped about this.
No, they were very nice. All people that work at Potbelly have good personalities.
Everybody, all across the board.
Yeah.
You know, I will say, I don't hear any like racist, awful stories of Potbelly workers as often as I hear Jimmy John one.
Yeah, Potbelly did take.
There was a Jimmy John's guy that had like you saw the one. There
that.
was a Jimmy John's employee that like made bread. You showed it to me out of a noose. And it was like, oh, Jesus. I know that's not a reflection of an entire franchise, but I don't see that happening to Potbelly.
Is bad. I
The
think he
human?
sold it. Yeah, the guy who owns it. He's no Papa John's, but he's bad though, right?
It's probably worse than Papa John's. I have no.
Isn't he like a
Papa John's?
hunter?
Oh yeah, he's like there's like pictures of Jimmy John naked, like on a boat, like on top of like like some dead whale or something, and you're like, what the fuck is this?
It's so bad that it's funny. It's so terrible.
Oh yeah, it made it to the other side of like what? I'm like, okay, that's the thing is that it's like, first of all, I can't even imagine enjoying hunting. All right, so like, but the people that you know of that hunt, you're like, they're not getting naked on top of a deer, are they? They're not like this is crossing boundaries.
That's hilarious. You can't look at comments at the same time I look at comments. That looks weird.
What's
so
up?
I gotta wait until you're done. All right, now I can look at comments.
Julia, what's up? You can look at comments.
You gotta look not while I'm looking.
We can look at the same time.
No, you can't. That's
Why can't?
not how
Danielle,
it works.
what's
it looks
up?
dumb.
What's up, cuz? What? I can't say hi to.
All right, but it takes me a while to look at comments. Shave the hairy feet, Potbelly.
Yeah, you're going back to shave the hairy feet? What are we going to start this whole podcast over?
Are you talking? Yeah, it's not a podcast. Validating my detailed memory. Okay, what are you guys talking about?
She goes back to the beginning.
Should invest in the road service. No, we're talking about making Potbelly sandwiches. All right, so
yeah, we're making sandwiches.
I don't have the correct, and this is also making Potbelly sandwiches in pandemic times.
I'm also, between me and you, I'm going to whisper this so she doesn't hear me.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm also not convinced that this is anything even remotely related to Potbelly did not invent heating a sandwich.
Hey, what did Jimmy does? You never heat shit.
Yeah, you're comparing it to a one sandwich place. What? You can get it toasted at Subway if you want.
That was like, I think,
my uncle and my
first,
uncle's Earl of Sandwich, which isn't well known, but they're in Disney Worlds and there's some locations and they're around. Anyways, they did the same thing. The same thing. It went
did
through
they put
belt.
the same kind of stuff on? No.
Okay, so you're gonna put the same seasoning. You're gonna put the same
difference.
seasoning. Can I quiz you like you did the workers at Potbelly?
There's differences.
What seasoning are we gonna have?
But there's differences between.
You don't got Potbelly seasoning.
Yeah, there's differences between going through and just going into the oven too. So at Earl of Sandwich they had the conveyor belt.
They had a conveyor belt that went through.
All right. That's more like Potbelly.
Yeah.
Because Potbelly used to, they're called Potbelly because they had stove, because they put it in the sandwich, Potbelly stove. So it used to just go in a stove like that. And they still had one stove that you could cook in like that. And some people would come in and be like, oh, I want the stove. And they would get that. It was all crispy.
Earl of Sandwich, their story was they claimed that there was a dude named Earl who was like the inventor of the sandwich.
Oh,
like,
might be.
Yeah, but I don't know.
My dad thinks that he knows, well, he's told me forever, that he knows the man who invented Fritos.
I think your dad invented Fritos. her dad is like Forrest Gump. Like, if you get him talking, and he knows, he's done everything. He's invented things that have been stolen from him. Yeah. He's got the most interesting life that I've ever heard. And he invented the thing that leaves.
In lawn bags.
Lawn bags.
You put inside
of a lawn bag. He just made his own. And then he claims that a neighbor saw it.
Wow.
And then
that's a story. I think it's.
Hey, I believe it. I don't know whose side you're on, but I'm on your dad's side. Okay, you can be against them.
I think it's the same thinking happens, parallel thinking. That's
no,
like
nobody was doing that.
That's like when Sarah Silverman did Andy French's joke at Oddball. That just happened to happen. But everybody's like, Sarah Silverman must have been at New Way Bar in Ferndale.
No,
that just happened.
That was a hell of an invention. And he's also an award-winning hot sauce maker.
He does make the best hot sauce, and I can't do it because it involves browning peppers.
But yeah, that was
make us die
when we first started dating. I could go over to her house, and her dad would leave a pitcher of fresh.
A blender.
A blender, but it was essentially just, I'm giving the size of it, that fresh homemade hot sauce all the time.
Yep, he would make it for you.
I would take it myself and like put it on my food at Mongolian barbecue and shit. I'd like mix it in. I'd take outside food and be like, yeah, this isn't allowed. Fuck.
There's only 14 of us as an audience. Well, we got Jeff's Instagram.
Yeah. There's
we got two people on
we're happy with 14.
14 is really
It's a pretty good number.
But yeah,
we got
is a cast iron stove. But then they made it into this like conveyor belt thing. So, all right, my bread is cheap ass bread, good dough. Telling you, this is Kroger ass bread.
It's all good dough.
Yeah, it's 97 cents a loaf, and that's how I'm rolling right now because it's a pandemic. Potbelly puts olive oil on the bread before it goes in the oven.
Man, they invented. I didn't know. I didn't know they invented olive oil.
They did.
Did they invent olives?
They invented olives. They invented olive oil. I couldn't brush it on, but they used to put it on with like those like the ketchup bottle that you see at like cheap Coney Islands.
Mm-hmm.
You know that like plastic ketchup bottle. They had olive oil in that, so you squirted it on.
Was it like a plastic?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Jimmy John's used to have. Oil and vinegar.
Oh yeah.
Was it
we didn't
olive oil? What was it? It was like a mixture of both.
Yeah, it's olive oil and vinegar.
And then they would just mix it together.
Yeah,
and
probably the spices in it.
Yeah.
That stuff is
good.
The
spices were separate.
Oh, okay.
They were two different things. You get both typically in what you get them.
Yeah. So I'm olive oiling the bread. That's what's up.
Just olive oiling the bread.
We have tofurkey. If you were going to make a Potbelly vegetarian, it would have 3 kinds of cheese and a handful of mushrooms. I don't have any mushrooms right now, so I'm just making the version of the turkey. But
that one doesn't have as many dots.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I mean, if you want it, but I want all the dots now.
All right, but Potbelly changed it to their vegetarian sandwich isn't even on the menu anymore. If you want the vegetarian, you have to say, like, can I get the old vegetarian? But then when I do say that, I don't believe that they're going to do it because they're like 12 years old. So I'm like, do you know what that is? It's 2 pieces of American and 3 pieces of Swiss and 3 pieces of, 3 pieces of provolone. And the mushrooms are inside the cheese.
I love when for Jimmy John's, there was a way everything went in a specific place. So for Subway, you get the food in the order that you say it. Subway is like, they're like, I want lettuce. They're going to start, okay, now what? They're tomatoes, and they throw tomatoes. And it could make no sense at all. the order of the stuff. It's literally in whatever you say. That's the order they put that shit on your sub at Subway. At Jimmy John's, every sandwich was supposed to be made exactly the same. So there's supposed to be a certain
school, right?
There was supposed to be a certain school. What do you mean, like the X-Men, like an academy? What the hell are you talking about? Train. I mean, everybody trains to get hired.
But I mean, like, you have to learn, like, the way of the sandwich. Be a sandwich.
Like, go into a fucking cave and have blindfold and some Karate Kid shit? What do you mean?
Did you have to, like, make it in front of someone and they're like, you passed?
No. What do you mean?
All right.
You passed. No, you're hired. Now you got to learn how to make a sandwich. If you don't know it, then I'm going to fire you because you suck.
I thought you had to train, like, you had to, like, do it in front of somebody.
They do have they did have, like, contests of Jimmy John's does have, like, a thing of, like, because my friend Sean, he went to Vegas, like, they have, like, a tournament of like yeah, I don't know what they do with all the food. I don't know if judging by who Jimmy John is as a human, he probably just throws it at homeless people afterwards and says fetch. I don't know. He sounds like an awful person, but but they would go to Vegas and like he won like some expensive Rolex or watch or something. Yeah, because he like won the Vegas thing. But the person that was it was a line. The person that was on
what do they do in Vegas?
was the people that were in Vegas. They would like have a tournament. They would compete against each other. Like my Jimmy John's against yours. It was like hundreds of. It was a whole rating system of like speed and accuracy. So a person would check the sandwich afterwards and be like, the tomato. They'd take a tape measure and shit and be like, because the tomatoes are supposed to be a certain distance from everybody. I swear to God. And
I wonder if they still do it. Probably not pandemic times, but man, I want to see a documentary about that. About the people because there's hardcore people and everything.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It'll be like that cat.
And I was always good at doing it, so they would always put me on bread. Because bread, that's the fat, that controls the whole flow of it. You're the person closest to the register. You have to start the whole entire thing. And like, how many swoops does it take you to evenly put the mayo on the bread? You know. And
we had a slice. Did you have a slicer?
Our slicer, because Jimmy John didn't want people to be lazy, so he didn't believe in technology that made your life easier. So it wasn't automatic. So it was just
we had a slicer.
It was like that, and I refused to do it. Some people,
really?
I'm getting paid minimum wage.
I sliced.
Fuck that.
The guy sliced his finger off.
Yeah, and that's why. You know what? I'm sorry.
A piece of it, and then
motherfucker! Why are you doing that? You get minimum wage to slice your hand off.
We put it on a scoop of ice cream and took him to the hospital. He went to the hospital with part of his finger on a scoop of ice cream. We didn't have ice.
Why did he agree to do that? I'm sorry that this is
weird.
This is very mean of me to say mean things about him.
He was a super weird dude.
The managers, you get paid more to manage and to risk cutting your hand off. I ain't getting near a slicer for $7.25 an hour. Are you fucking kidding me?
And they would make people slice when they were hungover because they were like, "Oh, you shouldn't be in front of people right now. You look bad." So
there was
slice.
There was a time that I was drunk, that I was at work, and they knew it was for St. Patty's Day. It was in a college town, and so many people. Hey, you guys are over here. So many people were drunk that didn't come into work, that they hit me up and they said like, what's your situation? And I'm like, I'm getting drunk. And they were like, well, can you walk here? I'm like, yeah, because I lived right across the street. And so they're like, well, I'll give you an extra $20 in just a couple hours. We just need you to fill a shift. So I was just like,
drunk making
sandwiches.
Oh God, that sounds awful.
It was great. It was a great time.
I used to get drunk after because we were right next to a bar called Wise Fools, and it was a cool blues bar in Chicago, and that was my spot. So everybody at Potbelly would go there.
Oh yeah, I went down the tangent because I would always correct people. Some people don't know how to do it. Like there's a certain thing of like if you get no cheese, no mayo, if you make a weird enough sandwich, they're like, well, then where the hell do I put the avocado? And I'd have to be the nerd to be like, well, actually, you're supposed to put it on the bread in this situation, or you put it between the tomatoes and the cucumbers, and I say it like that.
And you have to say it nerdy.
You have to say it nerdy. What's up, Crystal? Well,
I made because it was. Oh, wait, don't back into this. I'll put it over here. Because it was in Chicago and it was across the street from a theater, and so I made sandwiches for some famous people because they were doing shows at the theater. So that was fun.
Did you know who they were, or did you?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know.
I knew who they were.
You just call them famous people the way that like.
So they were working at the theater because actors would get roles in these plays, and then they would have a run for so many months or weeks or whatever. Oh yeah, at the theater. So I made a sandwich for the guy who played Norm on Cheers. He ate ham, and I made a sandwich for Jim Belushi. He just lived around there. I don't think he was in a play. I think he just went there. And Theo from the Cosby Show. That was my famous sandwich making.
Yeah.
It was fun. And I don't know, they were chill. Nobody fucked with them, which was nice because that would have been awkward. Except for one time. My boyfriend at the time was drunk and he saw Theo and he was screaming, Theo! And I was like, shut up! I gotta make sandwiches for him! You're embarrassing me! Alright, we're using tofurkey. Oops, did I put it the right way? Yeah. But we're freaking this sandwich because because this is for the people. So fuck it. This is gonna be at Potbelly, you gotta pay extra for extra meat and extra cheese, like everywhere else, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Not at home though. All right. So this is regular tofurkey. This is peppered. Peppered is super good. They don't have that there, of course, because they have other meat. We could have really freaked it out. Gotten chicken. Besides that meat from Gelson's. That's that weird like capicola-esque stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that stuff costs $1,000. There's fake meat. I don't know the brands. But it's
it's like fake capicola, salami, and somehow it doesn't taste like shit. It tastes amazing.
Really good.
But it's like $8 for like 5 slices or something.
It's so expensive. Insane. We did it once just because we're like, I just want to try it.
Kristen said that she loves to watch it. Sorry, Q.
All right.
Sandro, Comic Support Comics, what up?
I have a friend who was in my yoga class that was watching us. I don't know, she might be watching us now, Maud. And she sent me a message saying, like, I hope you guys make up. Because we argue on here. She was really sad that we were arguing.
That's hilarious.
And like,
I can't believe you asked me questions about, we can't see your lower body in any way on this. And you're asking me about, do these sweatpants? You don't have to wear pants to do this.
I don't know how many slices. How many slices do you have?
I do 4.
Okay, so that works. So I got 2 regular slices and 2 peppered.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
All right, but my hands are too turkey-ish now. Let's do this. All right. So the closest Potbelly to us, I already looked it up.
Oh God.
Is an
300
hour.
miles?
No, it's just an hour and like a solid hour drive.
An hour. She wants to drive an hour to get Potbelly peppers is what
hot
she
peppers.
Thinks. Yeah.
Because I asked Jeff to get me hot peppers every time he goes to Michigan, and does he do it? No.
Yes, I do. That's what I've done. I flew back with peppers.
Really?
Yeah.
We ran out?
I haven't done it in here, but I did it in Ferndale when I flew. But I don't think there's been a time.
You did it in Ferndale. That doesn't make sense.
When we lived in Ferndale. When we lived in Michigan and I flew away, I've done that.
Oh, and you took peppers to who then?
To you.
Where was I?
I don't know. Wait a second. No, I've done it once. I don't know where we lived, what was going on in life, but I know that I did it. And then you got to remind me. Last time you were mad at me, you're like, you were across the street and you didn't get me hot peppers, and I'm like,
your sister works next to Potbelly.
Yeah, so then you got to remind me to get hot peppers. You're the one that wants it.
Yeah.
And I think we need to just try the cherry peppers at Jimmy John's, because those. That's the only. You tried them?
I don't love them.
I don't know. Your taste buds are wrong. I don't know
They're
what to tell
okay.
you. The hot peppers at Jimmy John's are amazing. I don't know what.
If I had mushrooms,
It's not. I mean,
they'd go on
it's
that.
not worth it. For the.
Sliced cheese. Also, these are Dia, and there's better sliced cheese, but it's pandemic times.
Yep.
When Jeff gets signed, I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what
Then
that means either.
then we can have better cheese.
If I get sponsored by a cheese company.
You're gonna get sponsored by vegan cheese. Get called BioLife.
She wants me to reach out to these people.
BioLife.
There's a company called Fresh Balls.
Don't mess up your chances right now.
What? It looks what? Think they're watching this live? And what's
They're
wrong with it?
stalking you right now.
What's wrong? I didn't even say anything wrong about it. It's funny. They have to know that the name of their company is Fresh Balls. They can't expect me to try to be a sponsor for them and not be funny about their name being Fresh Balls. But you might see me talking about Fresh Balls in the future. Anyways.
So, extra cheese. I say we do it. We don't usually do this. We're not these people. Don't judge us for going overboard. Here, we're going provolone and American.
Whoa.
And their diet cheese has gotten better. It used to not be the best vegan cheese in the
Okay.
world. And then what I do, I'm going to put the American on first. I cut them up with my hand, not with a knife like he's doing.
You cut them with your hand? Some people call it ripping.
I rip them.
You cut it with your hand. What if you went to a restaurant and somebody cut your sandwich in half like that? You just rip your sandwich and you're like, oh, I cut it with my hand. That's how I cut it.
Because I don't know, it spreads it out better. So that's what's up.
Sometimes I like to fold my slices of my turkey because I feel like it gets better dispersion.
There you go. I'm glad that you're a weirdo about food as well, in the way of thinking about how to doctor it and make it better, because I've done this my whole life and I've been called a weirdo.
Yeah, no, my
I
family
can't
used to
argue
make
with
fun
that.
of me because when I would eat pizza, I loved pepperoni pizza so much when I was a kid that I would take the pepperonis off and I would count them. Because there was a time that Pizza Hut actually made good pizza. I think my theory is that Little Caesars ruined it because everybody was like, $5, we're going to have to make shitty pizza to compete with $5. And because we used to get the pepperoni lovers. We used to get pepperoni lovers. And I'd get like 32 pieces of pepperoni like on a slice. Like I would count that, and it was amazing. And I would eat all my food in a weird way. I'd eat pizza rolls. I'd peel them apart. I would have names for it. I was a weird kid. I'd be like, this is taco style. Yeah, I always ate food weird.
Oh, man. Well, that works for me. All
How
right.
come my cheese looks like I got more
I don't
cheese than
know.
you?
I don't know what you did.
Yeah, mine looks better.
Going in the oven.
Mine looks better.
Oh, yeah, yours does look better, because then you did fold the turkey in a weird way that makes it look better.
Yeah.
All right, I need a mitt. All right. You got it? We could put peppers on it, like bell pepper, but I'm not going to. Why? Because Potbelly doesn't have those.
Oh, my God. So she doesn't even want to improve her food
I'm not.
because she wants it to be exactly the same.
Not today. I've done it in the past. Now, how long?
Oh, God. You wait till this gives me anxiety. She waits till she puts it in the oven to think of how long she wants to cook it. But that's when the timer is. We should be timing it now, immediately. We don't know how long it's been in there. It could have already been 5 minutes. I have no idea how long it is. Oh, we already burnt the food. We have no idea. Whatever we time it from right now, it's plus 30 seconds.
I need your fingerprint to start the timer. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man. Oh, my God. Who knows? Who knows? Let's start over. Let's start over.
5 minutes?
4 minutes and 20 seconds? Sure.
All right.
Who knows? I mean, it's not, but you're going to remember it as 5 minutes.
5 and a half
Even though we made
minutes.
it a minute.
5 and a half minutes. All right. Tomato. Tomato can go on. Potbelly has a lot more stuff than they used to, too. So they might.
So do you feel like they're posers? When you, do you not eat it? The new vegetables they have. You guys got tomatoes now?
No, they
When I was there, we just had lettuce and mayo.
I do feel like I have to say it every time.
Every time you got to tell them that you work there.
Every time I'm there, I'm like, when I worked at Potbelly, they didn't even have red peppers. No one knew what a roasted red
That's how I
pepper
feel
was.
like at Jimmy John's when I'm like, you guys have a wheat roll? When I worked at Jimmy John's, we just had the sliced wheat
Yeah,
roll.
I didn't even realize. Oh, I think you
It
told
depends.
me they had a wheat roll.
Well, no, it's the franchises are different than the corporate. The franchises can do their own stuff. Like at the corporate ones, they didn't have pickles, and then they're like, if you want a pickle, you got to buy a whole pickle. And then some people
I
would be like,
remember that.
some people would be like, oh, well, if I'm going to buy a whole pickle, can you cut it up? And then the
Did
people.
you do that for them?
No. See, that's the thing is that some of these companies that you think that are the most that love people the most and whatever. I remember police officers walking in.
Oh, cops.
I remember
Jesus
cops
fucking
walking
Christ.
in at Jimmy John's, assuming because they're a cop that they got free food.
That was the
And-
way everything was in Chicago.
And I just remember, and this is the thing: as much as
God.
Jimmy John is the most conservative, Trumpiest business owner there is, and according to his rules, nope. I don't give a fuck if you just saved somebody's life. He's like, no, you pay full price. You don't get a discount. He didn't even give the employees free food. We got like
You didn't get
15%
free
off.
food?
Well, we did because we're not assholes. But the rules were, it depends who the manager was. If there was somebody from corporate that was there, we'd have to charge each other. You'd have to work like 8 hours. You'd have to work like a full 8-hour shift to get a free sandwich. And
That's crazy.
yeah, so that's crazy that I bet you they donate to the police, and they're all
You're talking
They're all
about cops,
pro-
you just accidentally
said donut. Yeah, it was a Freudian slip. And they but then the rules were, yeah, sure, that's your job. There's lots of good jobs. We don't give nurses free foods either. I don't know what the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But if a doctor comes in, he's just like, I just saved the patient's life. And you're like, well, you got to pay full price because society doesn't care about it.
kind of see where you're coming from.
What, do we just give
what's
every
up, Judy?
every person with a good job? What about teachers? Do we just say, sorry, fuck you, teachers. You have to, you know what I mean? Where's the line? At some point, I think it's just bribing. I think it's just like them just like, do you want us to take care of do you want us to take care of your business if there's crimes around your business? Or how about a free turkey sandwich? That's what it feels like.
I love Adrian's heckling us. He's like, you got to improve yourself. Only 8 people are watching it. I was like, it's down to 6 now. Get better. Do better.
Jimmy, what's up?
Yeah, your Instagram's just broken. It just always
Teachers
says
get a
one
discount. That's
person
good.
watching.
See, that's what I'm saying. Just give it to,
I worked at a cafe.
spread it around. It's
I
not
worked at
just
a
guys.
cafe in Chicago, and there was a cop who would come in. At the end of the day, they said we could take anything we wanted home at the cafe that was left. Because at a cafe, like when there's class,
okay.
and there's like bagels and muffins and all that shit. And I always wanted to take all of it and then figure it out later.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I wasn't gonna because people were thinking crazy. So I couldn't eat it all. I couldn't distribute. Then my job would have been just distributing.
Take now,
free
figure it out
food.
later.
Right. Well, I would take like a couple bags full of stuff, and the cop would come in at the end of the shift and take a garbage bag full of bagels and muffins and stuff. And I was like, does he take it to like a homeless shelter? And they're like, no, he takes it to
he
the
throws
station.
them. No, he throws them at homeless people on the way there. That's what he does. He goes,
So every time he would come in, I was friends with some cops, but that guy, no. And I would just be like, so you're going to give this to a homeless shelter? And I would just awkwardly say that as like,
good.
And he would not care at all. He was just like, no, take me down to the station.
He didn't even feel so.
Guys really like it. No, he didn't even flinch.
You know the
Like,
weird rule?
Of course not. I'm a cop and we deserve it.
The official rules of Jimmy John's, the next day they have day-old bread.
Yes.
So
we use that day-old bread.
So they have day-old bread. Now, after the day-old bread has become... After the bread has become 2-day-old bread, according to Jimmy John, you are supposed to throw the bread away. You are not supposed to give it to a homeless man. You are not supposed to give it to employees. Those are the rules that were written by Jimmy John. I'm sure that different franchises do their own, look the other way.
It's for like legalities from what
it's bread. You have to, what are you going to wait a month before? What are you talking about?
It needs more time.
Okay.
For all of you cooking with us at home, it needs more time. Don't take it out yet. Leave it in your oven.
I love that you picture people cooking with us at home.
3 more minutes.
No. So when people from the corporate office were here, and there'd be homeless people who'd come by because they were just used to the nice manager who they'd be like, yeah, come by at 2:30. We'll be closed at 2. We'll give you whatever the day-old bread is. That was it. Who cares? We're just gonna throw it away anyways. It's closer to hand it to the homeless man than to take it to the back dumpster. It's easier to be nice in this situation. But the manager wrote somebody up. Like the corporate person was just like tried to write somebody up for giving food to giving
garbage. You should just put in the garbage and then be like, go in that garbage. But a lot of people I worked at a bookstore for one day, pretty much. I wanted to work at the bookstore, but I had to have knee surgery, and they were like, yeah, just train. And then when you're done with surgery, you're hired, and then they didn't hire me. But they said you can have any book you want, any paperback. You just rip the cover off, and then you take that cover, and they send all the covers back to the publisher. And that's how books work.
So people got free books, they would just start destroying.
Everybody, that's how books work. When books are done, like magazines, they can't be on the shelf forever. So they would throw
they expire?
they would throw the books away at a certain time when new books would come in, and you were told you have to throw certain books away in the store, or else stores would be just filled with books. And then you get so much money back, but you send the covers back to say I had this much inventory, and they send you new. It's really weird. I don't really understand it, but I was like, oh, so the garbage must be full of books then. And they said, well, we had to lock up the dumpster because people were going in the dumpster and taking the books.
People want books.
Just
let them have books.
Have garbage books. They're like, no, these books must go in a landfill. They can't go to a person who would enjoy them, or nobody would buy books. Basically, that means that we should all have free books. There's enough books in the world for everybody to have 2 copies of every book you want. I swear to God. And they weren't stupid. They were just paperback books. Those, I don't know, Tom Clancy. I don't know. I guess not stupid. Some people read. I watch TV. Books are dumb. I don't know.
I'm going to read Crystal and said a bunch of stuff. All right. I fought for that in my job. Teachers get a discount. Yep, we all get that shit from the shop around the corner. So many scones and cookies. They do the same thing at Walmart, only with full products. Sometimes they just order too much and throw away full pallets of products. Shampoo, soap, clothes, spray cleaner, everything. Yeah, I don't know how to do it from the app. Yeah, isn't that what they did in Tiger King? Isn't that what Tiger King was? Didn't they feed a whole bunch of Walmart food?
Yeah! Holy shit, that was! They had Walmart meat that they used to feed the tiger because he had a deal with the guy. Yeah, that's so crazy. I think it's done.
Okay.
I don't get that at all. And then... Because there was a place that ended up turning into a Panera, but it was called Chicago Bread Company. And those people gave their bread to homeless people, and they made a deal of it. They said everywhere there were these signs that said, your shop, basically you're eating at a place that gives their leftover food to homeless people. So then people were like, oh, I want to eat there.
Yeah. For Postmates, I had an order to give bread.
Oh, yeah.
A whole bunch of food. I forget what it was, but it was like a bakery, after hours. And the order was knock on the door, even though it's closed, take the food, go to this parking lot that looks empty. The security guard's expecting you, and it was giving giving food to a homeless shelter. I was like, all right, I don't know how Postmates set that up, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. So this is how it comes out. Because it's vegan, cheese doesn't melt. It doesn't melt like other cheese.
Because it's sliced vegan cheese. There's shredded vegan cheese that spreads beautifully. The Trader Joe's, if we wanted to have a better presentation.
But you know why I didn't? Because
Potbelly doesn't have vegan Trader Joe's cheese. So we should have used that, and then it would have looked prettier for you guys. But
it still tastes good.
It's still gonna
and
taste
that's what
amazing.
it looks like underneath. The problem is, if you put it in there to the point where this looks shredded and good on top, the bottom will look burned. So I did that before. All right.
You put shredded on it? And then
I put the sliced on it, and I waited until the slice looked super melted, and then the bottom was burned. Because even the top of the bread doesn't look super done, but the bottom will look burned. Veganese. I spent a lot of time, many months being vegan.
I drank aloe. You guys ready for this conversation yet? It's good. The drinkable aloe. It's really good for your acid reflux.
Spent many months being vegan and not having mayonnaise. It was a sad time.
Yep. Drinkable aloe, guys. I stand by it.
It doesn't have anything on the package. Why is it just empty?
Because it tore off, and it would have been weird to keep it just to... I know what it is.
Yeah, but...
Foil. What were we talking about? That foil was... Crystalline said foil. Did you say something? That would make sense to be a reply to?
Foil.
I wasn't listening very well.
Foil. I don't know. All right. I'm putting extra mayonnaise. When I used to make Potbelly sandwiches, we could only put so much meat. We couldn't make extra meat. But we could put as much vegetables as, toppings as we wanted. So we would make it huge, topping-wise.
She's saying for the burnt bottom foil.
There's foil on it.
Okay.
That's what this is.
Oh, that's why it's not burnt.
No, I put foil every time, and it still burns the bottom.
So we're back to the mystery.
But
done with the veganese?
Yeah. So then I would eat half of the sandwich at lunch when I was on the job, and then half of the sandwich at the bar later.
Oh.
So I would put it in my purse.
Oh man, you know how much food I stole from Jimmy John's?
Oh God. Now everyone knows.
So much. All the food. I mean, sometimes I would, if we were slow, sometimes I'd answer the phone for a delivery, and then I would make the food, and then I would drive it. So nobody knows what the order is. All the chips, pickles. What's the noise? Esther makes noises that aren't appropriate for the situation. So soap just fell in the sink. That's fine. What type of noise do you think you should make if soap falls? She went, and I always... All
right. This is bad because I only have the end of spicy mustard. It should be spicy brown mustard.
Because that's what Potbelly has?
That's what Potbelly has. Spicy brown mustard. And I don't have enough. But I'm going to make it work. But I have this other mustard, stone ground mustard.
Anything taco sauce is on it. Is that
gross? No.
Well,
see,
why?
that's why you have acid reflux. Why the fuck would you put hot sauce on it? Because you don't need to.
I'm looking at the sauces.
Taking medicine
I'm not deciding.
every single day.
I didn't decide that this is. I gotta look at it. I gotta look at all the sauces to know what this is.
People don't want to watch arguments, but
I gotta look at what it is.
I don't know
I want something more than just mustard, and I gotta decide how I'm gonna do it. This is me. You know what?
Anyway,
let's wait.
Spicy brown mustard. This is stone ground, what they put on like pretzels, so it's kind of sweet. And then there's Dijon, but spicy brown is different.
Spicy brown and spicy Dijon is the same thing.
No, it's not. It's not the same thing. I know it's not the same thing, but I didn't know that until I worked at Potbelly.
It's either the same thing or spicy Dijon is better.
You could think that you like it better, but it's not the same thing. So
at least
I would put extra.
At least we didn't make a bread news. Yeah, Jesus, what the fuck was that? They were laughing about it and recording it. How do these racist people not know that this isn't even good? What do you? And then they posted it to their Snapchat. Like it was on their Snapchat. Like they were like, oh well, the racism's gonna go away in 24 hours. So, That is enough time.
Well, there's a whole like racist TikTok out there. It's just god awful.
You said it like it's its own separate app.
I swear, it's like, Black Twitter. It's racist TikTok.
It's racist. Yeah, that's the response. That's the social response to Black Twitter. Is what spices we got?
Well, I'm putting Potbelly spices.
What are the Potbelly spices?
Celery salt, black pepper, and oregano. But see, you're doing it differently because you like the spices to stick to the mayonnaise.
Which,
that's not how Potbelly did it.
I think it just
All right.
Potbelly didn't think of that.
Putting on lettuce. And I'm sorry, our lettuce is ugly. Our lettuce is too ugly to show on here right now.
You're ashamed of the lettuce?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to show it. This is why. Jeff cuts the lettuce like this.
It's way easier.
Yeah, but then you know what he does? All the good lettuce is at the front of the lettuce, right? The tip, right? He takes all the tops of the good lettuce, and then I feel like I got to use the butt. So I use lettuce butts because you take the tops.
Yeah? Well, you should have took the tops.
I know. Now I know that this is, I need to play
for the top.
offensive lettuce.
Yeah.
And I was not.
You're not playing offensive lettuce?
No.
Well, now you know what's
I thought we were on a team.
No,
I thought we were a lettuce team. But no. I'm with a guy who had siblings. I had Angie, and we did fight for something. So it was just two of us.
So I'm putting avocado. I'm putting tomatoes.
Avocado, they have that now. It's
putting
legal.
avocado and tomatoes. Oh, so that's the only reason why you're allowed to put avocado on it?
Yeah.
Is because you put
They
avocado.
have that now. You can buy it. You can pay extra.
They
And
don't
I'm sure
care.
it's-
No consequences.
It's not
no
like-
consequence life leads to this. Yeah, that's true.
All right. The worst thing about Jimmy John's is their stupid guacamole. Their avocado is stupid. Their avocado isn't real. It's got onions in it.
It doesn't taste like onions at all. You're crazy.
It's like a spread. It's not real.
Yeah, it should be a spread. They're not using
There-
fresh
I
avocados. Nobody is.
Subway has fresh avocados.
Yeah, and it costs like $2.
No, it's not that much.
Subway, you don't get as much avocado. Well, actually, Jimmy John's, you don't get as much as you should. I'm not
All
going
right.
to defend him on that.
Lettuce, tomato. My tomato, the skins are coming off. I don't know why.
What else do I want?
Lettuce, tomato. I don't have the peppers because, we talked about that earlier. Jeff didn't bring them to me. So,
I haven't even been. Well, they wouldn't even be around. Even if I did, they wouldn't make it this long. We've been in
Yeah, they
pandemic for what, 4 months?
They
When's the
last
last
a
time
long
I've been on a
time.
plane?
they last a long time. Lettuce and tomatoes. So, I'm just using pickled jalapenos because pickled jalapenos are in Gardenero.
Our lettuce
There.
fight put her kid to sleep. I'm glad.
That's amazing. The peppers there are called Gardnera. I don't know how to pronounce it. But that means they have carrots, cauliflower, jalapenos. They're a garden.
Today's meat is tofurkey. We're tofurkey fans. Tim David said, "What meat? Jackfruit."
Ah.
And, I like jackfruit. She does not.
I don't.
But it reminds me that I
Texture
want to
issue.
get it again. And
So I'm putting some jalapenos.
did you already lettuce it?
I already lettuce. And
Borrow your knife when you're done.
yeah, putting some more jalapenos.
She didn't even like. She only started to like hot stuff when I couldn't eat as much of it. I feel like this is like an attack. Every time she puts hot stuff on her food, I'm like, you didn't even like hot stuff like that.
I liked
when
it, just
you-
not as hot. I think you did make my tolerance for hot food more. What did you do with the napkin? Oh, I think it died.
Oh, I used it for something. There was mayonnaise on the knife.
All right. Tempted to put more mustard, but I can't because that's not potbelly mustard. So, pickle.
Oh yeah.
This is how potbelly pickles look too. I didn't even do this on. I didn't know if we were doing this, but they slice the pickle, and you can buy a whole pickle there too. They don't cut theirs, but I have to cut it because we don't have Subway sandwich meat. I were like, what do you call it? Sandwich bread. We don't have shaped. We don't have rolls. What are those called? Rolls?
I don't know what we're talking about.
The sandwiches that are on like Jimmy John's bread. Is it called a roll?
Bread.
There's sliced wheat bread that
Sub.
is not. Okay,
Sub-
that's just
there's
called
sub
sub
bread and
bread.
sliced
Okay,
bread.
yeah. I don't have sub bread. I could have done that because. But then,
Taylor Bryant.
so what they do is on top of the sandwich, put olive oil and spices. So the olive oil is on the bread and on top of it. Well, I gotta put the avocado first. Avocado.
Interesting.
And if I really wanted to do it, I would have Vintner's potato chips, which is the brand of potato chips they had.
You're getting down to the
Some Chicago.
Kaiser roll?
We were watching,
Is that the name of the roll?
not that one, but we were watching BoJack Horseman yesterday,
Yeah.
and it was the last season, and they one of the characters lives in Chicago during it. They make some really great Chicago references. It made me happy. They spend a lot of time at Portillo's. It was good. They spent a lot of time making fun of the fact that if you live in Chicago, you never call the suburbs Chicago. In Detroit, people will say they lived in Detroit. They live in Detroit if they live in Ferndale or Madison Heights or something like that. It's frowned upon, but not like Chicago.
But that's-
Chicago people will feel.
But that's the issue with
Chicago.
that's the issue with living in Southfield across the street from Detroit is because people know that you're not supposed to call people look down at people that call the suburbs of Detroit. But I feel like I have to call Southfield Detroit or they're gonna picture me growing up with a whole bunch of spoiled rich white kids. And I'm like, no, I grew up across the street from it.
You at least
where it
can
was.
say you grew up on 8 Mile, and then people are like, okay.
So that's like I try to describe it in a way to where they don't picture. They picture at least the right environment.
Oregano, pepper, celery salt. Celery salt is also what goes on Chicago hot dogs. So I feel like people in Chicago just have to have celery salt in their house.
I did all of those things as well, but I also did some everyday seasoning.
That's not pepper.
It's because they weren't smart enough to do it.
Oh God. So olive oil, oregano, pepper, celery salt. I don't have my peppers, so sad. I put salt too, which I did them too, but they don't actually.
Salt's first and ask questions
go
later.
on there.
Esther puts salt before she tastes the food. One time.
I should have put the pickle on top, but yes, that's what it looks like. Yours does look prettier,
Yeah, it does. There you go. I won.
but mine's Potbelly and yours isn't.
Are we gonna try it?
Yeah.
Oh, you put this on top too.
Yeah. Trying to think if there was anything that I'm forgetting. I don't think so.
Hold on. I'm putting some. All right.
Hold on. Hey,
Hold
from
on.
Detroit. From Detroit. Jeez, I can't read. Hey, from Florida. Hey. I missed some. Improve yourself. Okay, I got that. Do mall cops get
Interruption.
free?
I got a minute and 22 left on my Instagram.
Okay.
Should I start this over on my Instagram?
Sure, because I don't feel like having this conversation. For 30
Okay.
seconds.
Hey, I got it. I just got to let people know. Be right back. Instagram, Facebook, you're around.
All right. So we're waiting for you to come back. Oh, I can read this though. Do mall cops get free sandwiches? I bet they do, even though they're not real cops. So that is a really good question. Do they get all the perks of being a cop?
Wouldn't that be disrespectful to the actual cops if they just gave that
I
to
think it would
anybody
be.
that was almost a cop?
Put some gator juice on it. What's gator juice?
Is that the Florida guy?
Yes. I don't know what gator juice is.
Gator juice doesn't sound like I don't know. I don't trust it.
That looks beautiful. Thank you.
Carl
And
King,
it was
what's up?
Taylor saying Kaiser roll. For the Jimmy John's bread. If it was, because that I think Kaiser roll is round. I'm not sure.
If you're just joining us, this is
This is the tail end
this
of
is the
making
tail end
sandwiches.
of making sandwiches.
So this is what it looks like.
Mine's falling apart for the sake of showing everybody that's just joining us.
And then,
Oh.
just in case you're curious, because a sandwich isn't enough food.
Mm-hmm. You think people are worried that we're not eating enough?
People are very scared that we don't get
You
protein.
think people are a little bit too involved in our?
People are very upset at vegans for not getting enough protein. Telling you right
And
now.
I'm like, where do you get your protein? And they're like, I don't know, meat, I guess. I don't know. Nobody knows. It's weird if people aren't health nuts. Start questioning you about health stuff. I'm gonna have to eat while she's waiting. I don't know what we're waiting for. She ran away, but
But you wanna?
Carl King said, I'm vegan and trust, I eat enough.
I know, right?
Exactly.
All right. If you live by a Kroger, roasted red pepper
Oh,
hummus
yeah.
is amazing,
It's great.
and private selection Mediterranean herb hummus, so good.
If she doesn't have that, she cries.
Now I freak out. Now I'm addicted in a bad
She
way.
went to Kroger and like asked them for it, and they're like, I think it's over there. And she's like, that's not what they have there. They have a different flavor. It's not the same. And they're like, okay. It was a big deal. It was a big deal.
Wasn't that big of a deal.
No,
I
I
just
mean,
asked them where the hummus was.
no, it was a
and
big
then they
deal
said,
to the Kroger people. They
"No,
they
it
don't know.
wasn't." Now
We're
you-
not remembering the same thing.
Yeah, because now you're telling everybody that I'm a bitch to essential
I didn't
workers.
say that you're a
Thanks,
bitch.
Jeff. I was not a bitch to essential workers.
You
I
weren't
asked them
essential workers.
Where it was, and I asked one person,
Okay.
and I made sure to never
That's a
ask the
little bit of a
same
different
person
conversation.
twice. I asked one person,
Exactly.
is that
Yeah.
over there? And then
Different
I said,
workers. I
different
didn't say the
person,
same worker.
is that,
All right.
where is it? And they said a different place. So I looked
Yeah.
over there, and then I was like, well, I can't find it because I can't ask somebody any more
It
than
was a weird
one
maze.
question.
Exactly. You're
You're
nice.
You're
woman.
only allowed to ask one question to essential workers.
Yeah.
And then if they're
And then you're on your own. You gotta figure it out.
take it.
Yeah.
That's
So
just
you went
how
on a
it
maze
is.
and you
But
were
you're
like,
oh, it was a big deal.
no, it was a big deal for you to find this.
It was a big deal for me to find it.
Yes.
I never found
It wasn't
I
a big
don't
deal
think
like
I
you weren't crying and throwing a tantrum, but it was you
That's
wanted
what
to
you
find
told
this.
everybody.
It's not what I told everybody.
So then, I don't know if you ever had this, but this is pandemic times.
Fritos.
They're fake Fritos.
Fake Fritos, which aren't hard to
Fritos and
fake. I
hummus.
don't know why I haven't had this
Fritos
earlier.
and hummus is amazing.
Why haven't I had fake Fritos earlier?
Because you can afford real Fritos when times are not.
No, I mean, I forgot Fritos existed. You guys remember Fritos?
My dad loved Fritos, so that we had Fritos in the house.
I forgot Fritos existed. Maybe before recently, 10 years? No idea. No idea when the last Frito I had before recently.
But being vegan, I used to love onion dip, and so now Fritos and hummus is my fake onion dip. All right, we got
You
8
trying it? You trying the food?
All right,
All right, we're doing it. We're doing it. Got to show the Tink. Mine's thicker because I think it's a better sandwich.
gonna make a
I think I
mess.
won.
Oh.
It's great. It's amazing.
That's so good. So, if you want to spend a long time making a sandwich, it's totally worth it.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't.
We doctor shit, but it's totally worth it.
But it doesn't take that long in the oven. It doesn't have to
No.
take this long.
It's just the doctoring aspect of it.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have to take that long. But it's definitely worth it. Every time she does this, because she reminds me that this exists, I'm like, why do I eat sandwiches any other way?
Because, yeah, I just do it more often. But I think you forget because
I
sandwiches
forget.
are a quick
Yeah.
run and
But they
eat a
just-
sandwich.
But it doesn't take that long for me to pretend like this is some big production.
Yeah, it's not that bad. All right.
All right.
Good.
think
We're
we're
gonna
good,
go
everybody.
Eat our sandwich.
We're gonna
and
eat the rest of the
Fritos
sandwich and the
hummus
Fritos and hummus. Check out Planet Ant and all the other podcasts and
Yes, we're on
things that they got.
We're on the Planet Ant Podcast Network, and there's a bunch of podcasts on that network. Our podcast is called We're Freaking Out, and the last episode was with Ron Taylor about the documentary Hidden Colors. And
Very
it
interesting.
is about Black history, Black ancient history, really. And it was really interesting, and we're doing a part 2 of that, recording that right now. But the
So check
last
that out.
episode is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those things. And Planet Ant's nonprofit, so check them out. And they have a bunch of live shows on their live network, so check that out as well. And Jeff's on Patreon. Go find him.
Check that out.
And I think that's
I
everything
think we did everything.
so far.
I guess before we leave, read the comments before we leave. Carl King. Carl says, what's great is you guys eat like people and not like dainty and shit.
I don't know how to eat things. Like I used to, every time I've had a job, I've been scared to eat in front of people that I just met. Because I'm like, so people would be like, are you going to eat your lunch? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, I'll eat. And then I wait till they're all done and run away. And then I'm like, and then I eat like a weirdo.
I've just always ate like that and people have just made fun of me about
Sounds right.
it. Yeah.
I made a friend like that because my friend Caitlin, she ate all ugly. And I was like, I love watching you eat. And that's how we became friends. So
I
like,
forgot
can we
that
eat
was your
lunch
origin
together?
story.
Yeah, I was like, can I watch you eat lunch? She's like, sure. Like, the best was like one time she was eating something and like a piece flew on her shoulder, on her back, and she went like this. And she licked her back of her shirt, and I was like, I think I love you. And we're still friends.
You said, I think I love you?
I don't know if I said
Oh,
it like
that's
that,
great.
but,
I was like, that's like
you know.
TV. That's like how
It was
people meet on
cute.
TV.
All right, cool.
All right, everybody. We're finished.
Bye, y'all.
See you guys.
Have a lovely day. Oh, man.